Joel Sherman with 3 Up, talking to you from MLB Network. It's the day after now fully the Yankees eliminated, and that felt like the day to start to think about 2026, what happens. There's a lot. NYPost.com, you give it a read. I went through 5 big picture things I think they have to deal with. This is 3 things, so why don't I start here? Number 1, I do think they have to try to do everything they can to re-sign Cody Bellinger. That won't be easy. I can make a strong case why the Mets, who need both first base and center field, the Phillies, who need center field and some athleticism and could be losing some key players to free agency but want to keep going, will do it. And really any team that has money. Because if you think about partially where the game is going, the Blue Jay team that beat the Yankees and the Brewer team that had the best record in the sport this year. Low strikeouts, high batting average, and very good defense and flexible defense. And Bellinger is check there. He has impact across the outfield and in first base defensively. He's a well above average base runner. He had his lowest strikeout percentage of his career. He still hit home runs. Some of that was about Yankee Stadium, but he should be a 20-homer guy no matter where. It was 29 with the Yankees. He hit left on left as well as almost anybody in Yankee history, over 1,000 OPS. He hit in the clutch. He's not afraid of a big market. You know, a guy who's played in Chicago, Los Angeles, and New York and excelled now. He's kind of what you want. The Yankees don't have a obvious center fielder on the roster. Trent Grisham also is a free agent. I don't know that you want to move Aaron Judge back there. I don't know that you think Jason Dominguez is up to this or Spencer Jones is ready to jump to the major leagues. So to me, Bellinger feels like a stopgap answer because if anything ever proves right, Spencer Jones can play center field. Ben Rice can play first base. But if they can't, you still have answers here to move around the diamond and play at a high level and not be cowed by playing in New York. So I think job one this offseason is to try to figure out how to reunite with Bellinger, who was so important to what they did this year. Number 2, I think they have to really assert to their young players, especially because Hal Steinbrenner, I think, his goal is still to drive this payroll under $300 million, maybe down to about $275 million. I think that's where he would be most comfortable. And the only way to do that is if your young players play at a high level because they don't make a lot of money. And I'll earmark, the Blue Jays won in part because they had a lot of, their lineup was long. They had a lot of good players doing a lot of good things. So I think the Yankees have to kind of like be very demanding this offseason of their young players. I'm going to highlight 4. I think Jason Dominguez was talking to them about going to play for Escogido in the Dominican League. And he's got to play a lot of innings in left field and center field this winter. And I think he's a worker. I think he handled his demotion to not playing full time well. I think that he might not be the Martian, but there's no reason why there's not a 20-homer, 20-steal, 30-double, good eye player there. And if he could just be average on defense, that's an above-average player. So he's got to go get better on defense and really work at it this offseason. Go to winter ball and work on it. I think he's going to do that. I think Ben Rice is a worker. He got himself drafted without playing 2 years of college because of COVID. He willed himself into becoming a catcher. He's got bigger last offseason, and his offense jumped with it. I think this offseason is about the Yankees don't have a first baseman going into next year. He's got to work hard at first base this offseason, especially on scoops where he was not very good, and get really good at that and become, again, at least an average first baseman to be able to carry the offense that we think he's going to have moving forward. Austin Wells is a very good major league catcher, and if he's just this, very good on defense, good game caller, decent thrower, who hits 20 homers, that's fine. It's a starting catcher in the major leagues. But his offensive profile was to have a much better batting average, use the whole field. And I think he's got to get to that again, where he's a more impact offensive player at bat to at bat than just every once in a while launches one out of the ballpark. And then the most important one is Anthony Volpe. And I think the Yankees have to have the come to peace moment with him, which is Anthony, it's 2023 again. You're going to have to come to spring training and prove you're the shortstop of the team. If not, we'll live with Jose Caballero. We'll live with Oswaldo Cabrera. We'll sign somebody in the offseason who's kind of a quadruple A guy who could really defend if we have to live with just defense at the position. But Andy Volpe's now played 3 years. He's still relatively young on the calendar, but it is 3 years. He struck out 16 to 26 times in the postseason. He looked as bad as he's ever looked. His swing, again, like Wells, his carrying tool as an amateur in the minor leagues was as an offensive player. And this launch thing to the pull side to try to be like Dustin Pedroia, a little guy who launch. To me, Anthony Volpe had 19 homers this year. He'd be better off with 9 or 10 and a better overall offensive threat. You know, a pest, get on base, use your legs, draw walks, not be an automatic out with 2 strikes. To me, he's got to get back to being a whole field guy. It isn't, I get it. Analytically, I understand. The most offense is to the pull side in the air. But these are like fingerprints. Not everybody, you know, they're all different. Not everybody could get there. And he is forcing it by doing it that way. To me, he's got to get to being a tough out. Can he hit 250? That's major, a little above major league average. It's about 245. Can you hit 250? Can you strike out 22% of the time instead of 27% of the time? Become a pest. Which leads us to number 3, which was his double play partner this year, Jazz Chisholm. So Jazz is coming up on what will be his walk year, and I can't imagine that the Yankees, who are concerned about long-term money, are going to go long-term with Jazz Chisholm. To me, Jazz Chisholm is the date, not marry kind of player. He's exciting. He was a 30-30 player. But the stuff, the absent-minded stuff he could do, the stuff he could do when he's playing too fast for his own good, there's a downside to it also about asking, is it a total winning player? So I don't think they're going to ever sign him long-term. So the question is, do you just run it out, which is fine? He's a 30-30 guy. There's a lot there to like about it. But the flip side is this the moment for the Yankees to trade him and cash him in on something they might need? Some bullpen depth, high-end bullpen depth, a starter maybe for the back end, or some prospects which give them collateral in the offseason or at the trade deadline next year, or to ultimately use. I think that they have to be very open to, is there a good Jazz Chisholm market? And if there is, act on it.